So I've changed my mind. When we planted these, we decided we weren't going to hill them because we saw a video from one of the other channels I follow that they experimented with different methods, trenching, hilling, depth of how deep you plant your seed, and they planted their seed 6 inches and it yielded by weight more potatoes, not so much by size. So we thought we'd give that a go, but these things are growing so fast and they're getting tall and spiddly, and we had high winds the other day and they sort of fell over a little bit, which prompted me to think maybe we should start hilling them. And since doing that last video, I've learned that indeterminates and determinate potatoes, I originally just thought indeterminate meant long season potatoes and determinate is your short season, but it also is how the potato itself grows. So your indeterminates, your long seasons, they grow up, and as they grow up, they keep producing more and more tubers. So that's why you hill them, to give them more space to produce more tubers. Whereas your determinates, the short season, they will produce their tubers just in that one spot. That's it. You don't necessarily have to hill your short season potatoes or your determinate potatoes. So in this video, I'm going to quickly hill all my potatoes, or at least the long season ones. It's still 100 potatoes. And then I'm going to have a crack at this experiment. I want to try and graft my cherry tomatoes onto these Agria potatoes here that I've got on this row right next to me. I'm going to try and at least graft one, see how it goes, and then I might graft a few more. Because they come from the same family, they're both from the nightshade family, they will graft successfully. And you'll end up with a plant that not only produces potatoes down below, but tomatoes on top. So we'll see how we go. First, we need to get these hilled. Alright, so quickly need to get my sunnies. Being a night shifter, blue eyes, days like this, hurts the crap out of my eyes. So, to hill it, I'm just going to use the cheap compost that I use for everything, because it's cheap. It's like $6 a bag. I mean, you can't complain with that. I don't see the point in spending like $20, $30 for something that's pretty much the exact same thing. It may have been aged a little bit longer. I don't really know. But to hill potatoes, you can use anything: leaves, mulch, straw, hay, compost, or just the dirt itself. If you split your rows further apart, you can actually dig the dirt from in between the rows up onto the potatoes, but I haven't. I've got enough space, but not enough to do that. So we're going to use this. Hopefully got enough. I was contemplating using the straw that I've got, that I use for gardens, the barley straw. Again, it's cheap, but it also comes with a lot of barley seed heads, which sprout everywhere. All my gardens have barley through it at the moment. I guess it's a price you have to pay for something that's cheap, opposed to buying something that's been screened. Probably costs an arm and a leg too. I mean, all it takes is 5 minutes a day to go around and just pick all the new sprouts out. But being in the potatoes, it's gonna be a little bit harder to pick all your barley sprouts out of there. And I don't want to walk between the rows all the time and compact the soil right where the tubers are going to be. It's the last thing you want to do, especially with my weight. It doesn't take much for 130 kilos to compact soil down. I can see I'm going to run out of compost very fast. I knew I should have done a run into town to grab more. So basically, this is what you want to do. Once it's sprouted, about 3-4 weeks into once it's sprouted, they get to that sort of 6 to 8 inch mark. Hill them up to the first lot of leaves. You probably hill this up even more to about here. And then again, another month down the track, try and hill it again. And then you usually get to a point where it's about, I don't know, a good foot. and then you leave it, let it mature. From there, it'll start to mature. It should start to sprout flowers and do its thing, and the tubers will start to swell. Some things I've even read is you keep hilling it until the plant dies, basically. Once the plant dies, it sends all its energy back down into the tubers, they swell even more, and then you harvest it once they've all completely died off. So we'll do that. I'm gonna make my way through as far as I can with what I've got, hill these up, and then we'll come back in a few more weeks, hill it up again, or even next week in a few days, because I'm gonna run out, and hill them all the way up. Okay, now compost. That's going to be a mission tomorrow after work. I've got work tonight, so I'm running out of time. I don't have time to shoot into Hamilton again more. But in the interim, I'm going to try the graft. I've got my sterilized blade, I've got my tomato, got my potatoes to choose from. Generally, when you do it, you want to do it while the potato's still young and the stem's quite skinny, because when you go to graft one plant to another, you need to match the diameter of the stem. Otherwise, cambium of both won't match, which is where the xylem and the phloem vessels sit. And if they don't match, they can't obviously fuse together and complete that circuit of the water and nutrients being able to pass up and down the stem to the plant where it needs it. If it can't do that, it's going to die. So I'm gambling a little bit here because these grew way faster than my tomatoes did. Just buggered up my timing completely. I've never grafted before. I've learned about it through my horticultural studies and everything like that, but I've never actually had a try. So this is going to be fun. I'll probably fail, but we'll see. So you need to find, basically it's going to be the tip of the potato really. Maybe this guy. Yeah, this one looks good. So we'll cut our tomato right at the base. When you cut it, try not to saw it. You're just going to damage all the cell walls and everything within the stem. Come through, we'll try and match it about there. So what I'm going to do is a cleft graft. So basically we've cut the stem there. I'll put a cut down the middle of the stem. I'll put a cut down the middle of the stem. I'll then cut the tomato stem into a clean 45 point on each side, and then slide that down the center of the potato stem. We'll then I'm going to use glad wrap. I don't have grafting tape. We'll wrap that around to hold it nice and tight, and it'll create like a nice little protection for it. Give ourselves some space to work with. We'll cut these off for now. Oh, doesn't help that I've got the shades. That's a bit off to one side. And then we want a nice .45. I wouldn't call that a 45, but that wasn't bad. First attempt. Take the first couple of leaves off. Oh no! That was not good. Damn it. Fold this over on itself a little bit. You want it nice and tight. So wrap it a couple more times. You need to make sure it's nice and tight so it keeps that union together. so that they can fuse nicely. I think next time I'm going to get some grafting tape. It might be a lot easier. So essentially what you've got is the potato has now become the rootstock and the tomato is the scion. This is your grafting union. So there we have it. Will this work? I'm not sure. But before I leave it, you need to cut off all the other stems. Because basically, if you leave all these other ones on, the potato is obviously going to favor its own branches over the tomato and it won't send nutrients or water or anything to it. So you cut all these other ones off so that in order for the potato itself to survive, it's going to need to use your scion to be able to photosynthesize and do all the other stuff it needs to do. Now generally when you do these, obviously it's a lot smaller like I said, and once you've done it you can put a humidity dome over it just to ensure that it will survive. But unfortunately I don't think I have anything big enough or anything that will just sit in this space. So we're going to have to try our luck. I should not have sat down. I am shattered. Collectively over the last 3 days I've probably had about 5 hours sleep between working on the garden and going to work. Tomorrow's my day off, so if I can get all this done today, I can have a good sleep tomorrow after work. We'll try. Guaranteed through the night I'll come up with another plan that I need to do tomorrow and I won't. I'll sacrifice sleep to get it done. Anyway, got more compost. Time to hill the rest of these potatoes. I'm thinking instead of doing what I was doing yesterday where I was just individually piling around the plants, I'm just going to dump bags down the rows. Use this hoe to pull it up towards the plants. Just the more logical way to do it, a lot easier, and then I don't have to walk over the garden so much compacting the soil. So we get stuck into doing that. And then we'll check on my tomato that I grafted on the potato plant yesterday. Alright, now to check on my graft. I ended up using one of the compost bags yesterday because it was starting to wilt, so it really needed some humidity, which I think it needs a bit more of. I don't think this one's taken. Let's see if we can save it. I'm not going to give up. I'll spray it with some water, give it more humidity. This heat's probably not doing it any favors. Oop. But that's the general idea with a graft, is obviously match your plant with the same family. So apples with apples, or is it apples with nectarines and stuff as well, eh? Yes. Yes. Yeah, basically. Whatever plant you're going to graft onto your rootstock, they need to match from the same family so they are compatible and they will fuse. Your stem diameter needs to match the stem diameter of the rootstock so that the cambium layer, which is a small layer underneath the dermis of the plant, where the xylem and phloem is, which is the vessels of the plant, allows them to still be able to fuse together and flow nutrients up and down through the stem. Generally, if you get it right, it should It will wilt a little bit because it's, it's just been cut in half, but it should take pretty quick. And for something like this with a tomato, use a tomato, either variety that's quite vigorous in growth. So this was a cherry tomato, which is generally quite vigorous, or the suckers off your determinants or indeterminates. They're generally pretty good to use as well. They'll take quite quickly. So I'm going to try and save this one. I'm going to keep spraying it with water, keep the humidity up, see if it will bounce back, and I'm going to trim one of the suckers off my other tomatoes and see if I can try with one of these ones. And I'll show you an update in the next video. Other than that, see you in the next one.